The sound of my daughter coughing hit me like a drumbeat against my chest, sharp, relentless, impossible to ignore. I bolted into her bedroom. The scent of menthol from the nebulizer heavy in the air, both soothing and clinical. She was sitting upright, little lungs rattling violently, eyes wide with fear. I lunged to the device, ready to calm her, and froze. The machine's hum had vanished. Panic surged. I checked the cord. Unplugged. My hands trembled as I scanned the room. The socket was empty. My heartbeat spiked. "Who?" I muttered, glancing around frantically. That's when I saw her, Mrs. Glenda, the HOA president, rigid in the doorway, hands clasped like some Victorian chaperone, her face a mask of cold self-righteousness. "Oh," she said, "that clipped tone that makes your skin crawl." I unplugged it. Safety hazard. Children shouldn't run these unattended. My jaw dropped. Safety hazard? This wasn't a lamp. It was a medical device. My voice cracked, louder than intended. Mrs. Glendower tilted her head, pursing her lips. Technically, it was drawing too much current. HOA regulations. I snapped, my hand shaking around the plug. "This is my daughter's nebulizer. You can't just—" Her eyes narrowed. "I'm enforcing rules." I swallowed a scream, forcing myself to breathe. My daughter's cough worsened, and the room seemed to shrink. I pulled her close, trying to calm her, and she whimpered, "Mom, I can't breathe." The reality hit. This wasn't some minor HOA intrusion. It was a boundary crossed, a line no one in this neighborhood dared approach. My phone buzzed, ignored, too furious, too scared, aware that one wrong word could escalate everything. Then came the deliberate crunch of gravel outside. Heavy boots. My stomach sank. I hadn't called anyone. Who was this? I peeked through the blinds, heart hammering. There he was, my father, retired Marine, broad-shouldered, eyes sharp enough to cut stone, standing like a storm ready to strike. Mrs. Glenda hadn't noticed yet. The tension spiked. Either this was about to get worse, or finally, someone would stop her. Each crunch of his boots a heartbeat of inevitability. My daughter clutched me, wheezing. I forced calm into my voice. "Dad." She unplugged the nebulizer. He stepped inside, silent, gaze sweeping the room like a predator. Mrs. Glenda stiffened immediately. "Him." She breathed, posture faltering. "Glendower," my father said, voice low, waited. "Step outside." A pause stretched, tense and suffocating. Her lips pressed in. I was just ensuring safety regulations," she stammered. "Safety," he repeated, stepping closer. "You think safety is unplugging a medical device while a child uses it?" His cold, unyielding eyes made her avert hers. The air thickened, room shrinking. She tried to speak. "Well, technically," but trailed off. "Technically, lady, this isn't a suggestion box or a garden party. My father said, this is a child's life." My daughter whimpered. He crouched, steadying a hand on her shoulder. "Hey, kiddo, let's get this machine going again." I quickly plugged it in. The soft hum returned. A small relief, but tension lingered. He stood, dusting off, eyes fixed on Mrs. Glenda. She fidgeted, glancing at the door like prey. I was just trying to help," she muttered, hollow even to her own ears. "Help?" My father's voice dripped with disbelief. "You endanger a child and call that help?" Silence followed, heavy, suffocating, unbroken. Unbearable. Every tick of the clock hammered the weight of what had just unfolded. The street outside felt unnervingly still, like the pause before a storm. Then she did something that made my blood run cold. She straightened her spine, crossed her arms, and smiled, slow, deliberate, poisonous. "Well," she said, voice syrupy but sharp beneath the surface, "maybe you shouldn't live here if you can't follow the rules." My father's jaw tightened, and a chill ran down my spine. She wasn't finished, not by any measure. Then came the words that made my stomach sink. "I'm going to make sure you and your family regret this." The reality hit me. This wasn't just about a nebulizer. This was a declaration of war. The tension in the room was thick, almost tangible, a weight pressing against my chest. Mrs. Glendale's smile had turned icy. Her fingers drummed a precise rhythm against her clipboard, each tap a calculated threat. My father remained still, an unmovable monolith, while I tried to reassure my daughter, whose gaze still trembled. "She's fine now," I whispered, brushing a strand of hair from her cheek. The low hum of the nebulizer was the only thing keeping the world steady. My father's voice cut through the tension, calm, precise, and lethal. "You need to leave. Now." Her eyes narrowed, but she stayed rooted. "I'm just enforcing HOA rules," she repeated, as if chanting them could lend weight to her claim. "Oh, really?" my father replied, each step deliberate, echoing in the quiet room. "Rules about what? Unplugging medical devices mid-emergency? Interfering with the care of a child? Because last I checked, that isn't in the HOA handbook." Her face tightened. She clutched at any fragment of authority she could muster. "You can't just—" she started, but my father cut her off. "I can," he said, calm but absolute. "And I will—" Before she could recover, a distant chime rang from the doorbell. Our neighbor, a quiet man who usually avoided HOA chaos, had arrived, likely drawn by the commotion and the unmistakable sound of conflict brewing next door. Commotion. Mrs. Glendower glanced toward the sound, panic flickering in her eyes. It was like watching a cat trapped in a room full of rocking chairs. I, she stammered, but my father raised a hand, stopping her mid-word. "No, you've had your chance. Leave, or I call the authorities." Her gaze flicked to my daughter, small face pale but no longer terrified. "This isn't over," she spat, venom lacing each word. "You're right," I said, surprising even myself. "It's not over, but next time you touch my family, it will be over for you." She finally stormed toward the door, clipboard clutched like a shield, muttering about legal action and community rules. I exhaled slowly, relief washing through me, but the tension lingered. My father sat, rubbing his hands together. "You know," he said, half smile in place, "most people don't try this while I'm home. They learn the hard way." I laughed shaky, knowing she wasn't finished scheming. HOA Karen wasn't disappearing. She was plotting, in the quiet aftermath, with the nebulizer humming softly. I realized whatever her next move, we'd be ready. But the question remained, how far would she go? The next morning, the neighborhood felt deceivingly calm. Birds chirped, sprinklers hissed. The usual hum of suburban life carried on as if nothing had occurred. Inside, the tension lingered, thick as smoke in a closed room. My daughter played quietly, her nebulizer safe in the corner, but every creak, every rustle outside made me flinch. I paced when the mail clattered through the slot. I bent, froze. A thick envelope stamped with the HOA logo. Hard hammering. I tore it open. Formal letters, fines, vague warnings about community compliance. One line jumped out, bold and underlined. "This is only the beginning." My pulse raced. The war was far from over. Then the doorbell rang. I didn't think, just called, "Who is it?" "Delivery," came a cheerful, oblivious voice. I opened the door, nearly recoiling. There she was, Mrs. Glenda, holding a small potted plant like a peace offering, but eyes sharp, calculating. "Oh," she said, tone saccharine. "Thought I'd extend an olive branch. Perhaps we can coexist." I stepped back, hand resting on the nebulizer table. My father appeared behind me, silent, broad-shouldered, a living warning. "Olive branch," he said flatly. "You unplugged a child's medical device yesterday. Coexistence does not apply." Her smile didn't waver. "I'm just maintaining standards. Community standards." I laughed, bitter, sharp. "Standards? You endangered my daughter, and you think a plant fixes that?" The moment stretched, thick with tension. Then, audaciously, she placed a plant on our porch and turned on her heel, retreating like a queen from a battlefield. Her message was clear. She wasn't done. My father exhaled, shoulders easing slightly. "This is why people avoid HOA drama," he muttered, glancing at me. I looked at my daughter, now curious about the plant, and felt that wave of protectiveness. No bureaucrat, no entitled neighbor, no HOA rule would threaten her safety. As the sun dipped, long shadows stretching across the lawn, I realized the Bourbon War wasn't about retaliation. It was showing up, standing firm, refusing to be ruled by fear. And somewhere out there, Mrs. Glendale plotted her next move. But for now, our home was ours, safe, humming defiantly alive. The nebulizer purred gently, a quiet victory. The war with Karen might not be over, but this battle was ours.